Hello folks, welcome back. Today we are taking a break from the recent 777 action and we are back in the PMDG 737. To be specific, it is the 800 with the split skimmer winglets, as we can see here. And we are flying the FlyDubai 737 from Dubai over to Karachi in Pakistan. Certainly not the most popular routes of let me say, like middle European aviation geeks, but yeah, it's also quite an interesting flight, hopefully over to Pakistan. Dubai, the scenery, I mean, we've seen this one before, and it will certainly play a major role when we take the 777 to the skies again, but this time today only in the small Boeing and over in Karachi. Yeah, really excited how this is going to go. A scenery which I have not yet used, airport which I've never flown to before, so we might be in for maybe a quite interesting landing into Karachi. Weather here at Dubai today on the 1st of March is beautiful as always. Just a little bit hazy, we can see the Bush Dubai all there in the distance. And we are parked here at the Echo gates, which are like the apron stands on the other side of the airport. You can see there are some other FlyDubais around here, and all the Emirates fleet is parked on the other side of the airport. That's how they do it here in Dubai. Well, and other than that, you can see that the passengers are getting on the plane. And so we should head into the flight deck and start to set it up. Alright, and here we are back in the good old 737 flight deck. I've set up the ACARs already and we can start to do the performance stuff. As you can see, flight number today is the FlyDubai 329. And performance, let's see what they have in store for us today. Okay, that took a while, but here we are. Let's see. So cost index 18 on the flight plan. It says 7 for today. Weights are fine. Flight level, we will be at 350 only today. And transition level at Dubai, that's a very good question, is 13,000. So let's put that in there. Oh, no, that was the wrong one. Sorry, totally wrong in here. And then this is 350 like that. Okay, here we are. And in terms of departure, we will be going out of 30 left, which is quite a bit of a taxi, unfortunately. And then we will be flying the Evuro 1 Foxtrot, which is this one. And we can see we will go runway heading, and then there's the first waypoint where we want to be minimum 180. So apparently they want to get us away from the airfield rather quickly here. But then a few waypoints further on, there's a max 220, so various constraints here today. And then 3,000 above, 4,000 above, a couple of altitudes where we have to be above them, but I think that should be totally fine today in this light aircraft. Yeah, so that's dialed in. Let's go to the winds page and load that in. Flight time, not sure if I've mentioned it today, is 1 hour 35, so it's not really a long flight over to Karachi. And load that in. Cool, so well, that's done. Next up will be the performance. So let's see. That's a bit better. Initialize the flight. Performance conditions are dry. Let's get the weather for Dubai, and that's winds 340 at 6. A bit variable between 290 and 30, but that's fine. 25 degrees it's now, 2999 at 2 or 1016. It's again the wrong one. Why do I keep typing stuff in the wrong one today? 1016 like this. And let's try takeoff 2. Unfortunately, we can't use the intersections here in the PMDG. That would be quite handy since it's a really long taxi otherwise, but I think we have to go with it. Flaps optimum, aircon is on, anti-ice is off. Takeoff weight, that's in pounds, but it should be the same, should make no difference. Okay, interesting. Quite surprised that we can't use takeoff 2. I'm quickly going to verify these weights in here. So just doing a quick weight conversion. Takeoff weight will be 67 and 793, and that should be 149. So it seems to be correct. Yeah, pretty close. Okay, so apparently that's what we have, so we will do that one. And so flap 5, takeoff 1. Oh, that's really off. So takeoff 1, climb 1, and then select a temperature of 33. And this gives us 94.3, and over here 90.1. Okay, that's also quite interesting. Why there's a bit of a gap here. Okay, so 45 apparently does the trick, 90.7, and that's now close enough. Okay, and then take off flap 5. And speeds 138, 42, 49. 138, 142, 149. Alrighty, that's done. Yeah, let's close up some doors. And also we do have the APU running. Just put the generators on, and then we can get rid of the ground power. Like that. Okay, quickly finishing over here, 149. And let's do it plus 10 today, so 159. And then initial heading is 299. And then top altitude for the departure is actually only 4,000, which will come up rather fast. Like this. So flight directors, auto throttle, VNAV, LNAV. Cool. Just seeing the altimeters are off, and this should be hectopascals like this. Okay, now, so seatbelts are on, that's good. And this should be cruise. So let's do some checklists. Pre-flight checklist. Oxygen is tested 100%. Navigation transfer and display switches are normal, and auto window heats come on or are on. Pressurization mode selector is on auto. Flight instruments are checked. Park and brake is set, and engine start levers are cut off. And so let's ask for a pushback, and at the same time remove the wheel shocks. Go to legs page over here. Oops. By the way, progress, yeah, enough fuel on board. Always good to double check. Okay, and then all the other stuff, probes, yaw damper, fuel control, hydraulics, and beacons. Okay, before start checklist, flight deck door is closed and locked. Fuel, we have 8.7 tons on board. Passenger signs are on, windows are locked, MCP is set. Takeoff speeds, we have done those. Zero pre-flight is completed. Rudder and aileron trim is 3 and 0. Taxi and takeoff briefing, yeah, sort of done both, and anti-collision lights are on. Before start checklist completed. Yeah, maybe it's worth to, or let me first put this one off. And now let's see if we can pull up the airport map for Dubai. Yeah, so we are here and we're gonna depart all the way back there. It's a really long taxi today. Really, really long. Tail goes to the left. But it is super straightforward. So just down here, right-hand turn, and down to the next one. As easy as this gets, really. Okay, starting the timer. And I assume that's gonna be short pushback only, so let's go ahead and fire up the engines. Ground, and we have the new switches, so we can put them straight to on. Engine fail. Sweet. Well, that's a good start into the day, isn't it? That is just terrific. Okay, so I think normally we would need to cancel this flight, of course, but since we are in a simulation world, I'm gonna search for the, wherever it is, the failures. But it says none are active. Okay, let's try this again. Whatever is happening here. Yeah, and 2 is not rising since of course. It's the PEX. That happens when we fly a lot of these very modern airliners. And now back in the 737. Sorry about that, guys. Of course, it's the PEX. We need the bleed air, and we can't put them into the PEX instead. Need to be turned off, of course. Okay. Let's forget all about the failure stuff, which I've mentioned before. That was quite simply my incapacity. Okay, but now engines are firing up. Okay, starter cutouts. Let's fire up number 1 as well, and at the same time confirm the engine start. Okay, I'm just seeing, apparently we have a bit of fuel in the center tank. Okay, engines are fired up, generators 1 and 2, and then APU bleed goes off. Those go to auto, isolation valve auto, and shut down the APU. Like that, he's waving goodbye, that's perfect. This goes to RTO. We will put out flap 5. Like that, and yeah, what else? Okay, that's okay, whatever that was, just a reset. Right, flight controls. Let's take the outside view today. So full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, and the rudder full left and full right, neutral. That's checked. Okay, so before taxi checklist, generators are on, probe heats are on, anti-ice is off. We don't need that isolation valve, so auto. Engine start switch is continuous. Recall is checked. Auto brake is set RTO. Engine start levers are idle, and flight controls are checked. Ground equipment is clear. Before taxi checklist completed, so we are good to go now. and taxi lights, like that. Okay, so yeah, as I've said before, it's gonna be a really long taxi. I think I will give you guys a bit of a 2 or 3 scenic views during the taxi, but otherwise I will meet you down at the runway. So finally we are getting close to the runway. That was a really long pushback. It's 15 minutes ago already. I was remembering we need to set the trim, of course, and that should be 4.52, and that's pretty much spot on, so we can leave it as it is. Also during the taxi I was noticing the airport rendition is not quite up to date. There are some taxiways missing, so we actually had to cross runway 30 right, but nowadays there's actually a taxiway sort of leading behind it, so you wouldn't have to cross it. But never mind. Okay, let's set the transponder like that. And I think they are coming in to land on the other runways, so we should be good on this one here. Also traffic and weather. And so let's finish the turn first. Like that. Okay, and traffic and terrain. And all the lights, landing lights are cool. It's a new one. The LEDs, pretty fancy. Those go on, and those as well. And before takeoff checklist, flaps are set at 5 green lights and stabilizer trim is set at 4.5 units. Before takeoff checklist is completed. So let's see how the takeoff calculations turn out to be. I mean, that's a super long runway. That's actually one of the longest I think we have in the sim. It's roughly 4.5 kilometers. That's quite crazy. Okay, and ready when you are. So let's go. Starting the timer, throttles to around 50%, like that. And toga. And off we go. Sweet. You know what, guys, just during this takeoff roll I'm noticing it's probably not the runway length which leads to the D rate. Rotate. It's probably just because of the speed they require us to go just after departure. That's probably the reason. So gears coming up. Cool, and we are off, and that's a beautiful view down on Dubai. I really love that scenery because of the fact that the city is displayed so amazingly well. I mean, it's kind of outdated. I think nowadays there are a lot more high-rise buildings than only these, but nevertheless quite nice. Okay, let's put the autopilot on and get these lights off, and then also we should start retracting the flaps. This goes off. And I think since it's a minimum speed, let's go speed and let's do... Come on, can I not intervene with these speeds? Okay, apparently not. Let's keep climbing as well to cruise, which is 350. Yeah, I would rather go 220 knots now. That would be a bit cooler. Now it's 190. Let's see if we can enter it here. No. Okay, also not like this. 220 slash. There we go. Yeah, that's better. I didn't know that the 180 was hard dialed into there since it's a minimum speed. It would be kind of handy if the aircraft would accelerate automatically. Okay, and flaps up. And after takeoff checklist, engine bleeds are on, packs are auto, landing gear is up and off, and flaps are up. No lights in a second. There we are. Okay, but now, yeah, we only have this speed limitation up to the next waypoint. And after that, we are cleared. So heading to the turn. Okay, and now we are at 250 knots and climbing again. Also forgot to set the new altitude to active again. Okay, but now we can just freely climb out and speed out of Dubai as we are used to. All right. Cool, and those can come back off. And I think since it's a super bright day, we should be good to switch off those landing lights now. Alrighty guys, thank you very much for joining me on the departure, and now please enjoy the cruise, and we will meet again down in Pakistan in Karachi. See you in a bit. Hello folks, welcome back to the flight deck. That was a quick flight over from Dubai, as we also had quite a bit of tailwind during the cruise, pushing us over towards Pakistan. And yeah, that's where we are currently heading, just passing 10,000 feet. So let's switch on those landing lights. And we can see the city of Karachi stretching out here in front of us. And yeah, to speak about the approach a bit, it will likely be a fun approach since we are not flying an ILS for a change, but instead we are doing an RNAV arrival. And it has been quite a while since I last did an RNAV arrival, especially in the 737. So I really hope I don't screw it up too badly. Let's see how this goes. So having a look at the chart, we are going to land on runway 07 right. And you can see on the chart we are about to get to waypoint Gumil and then on to Virok, and then it's a left-hand turn, and then on to Kilo Charlie 602, and from this waypoint on it's only 8.2 miles left until the runway. So that's already quite close. And yeah, so it is yeah, it might even get a little bit tricky since we assume we are further out, but in fact we're already quite close, at least that's like the what the chart is suggesting to me. And so I have done a bit of pre-work here in the legs page to make sure, let's put it on this side, yeah, to make sure that we are at the right speeds and altitudes. So zooming out a bit more. So at Virok we want to be at 3,000 feet, and at KC 602 I've hard dialed 170 and the 2,200, and then KC 601 that's the 1,600. So I figure 170 speeds at a distance of 8.2 miles, that's somewhat appropriate for any type of approach really. And the other speeds are estimated by the FMC. So yeah, that's what we are having today, and I really hope this works out well. Speed will be 140 plus 5 makes 145, and weather is okay, but visibility is not too great. I mean, it's still alright. We can see winds are 4 knots only at 060, and now it's 8 kilometers of visibility, 5 miles, and that's it's quite a bit. That should definitely be good enough for our approach today. Super warm, 32 degrees. And altimeters of 1014, and speaking of which, we can already set it. I have pre-selected it, so simply pull and there we are. And yeah, we are already speeding a bit, and I should make sure to slow the aircraft down on these RNAV approaches. It is really essential to stick to the speed and help the aircraft stay on the VNAV path. And yeah, now the aircraft intends to slow down, and that makes a lot of sense given at Virok we actually at this waypoint already 202 is sort of estimated by the aircraft, and now we can see the restriction is the flaps. So if we go down to flap 1, then I think we should be able to make it not quite even 190 now. Still being the flaps being the constraint. Okay, yeah, we will keep the flaps coming in just a second. In the meantime, approach checklist is completed, altimeters are set, and next up will be landing checklist. We can already put those to continuous. Try to do some work now instead of doing it later on. Right, and then we should make sure that before we actually turn on the final heading, which will be course 074 at this waypoint over here, we want to be in a full landing config. So yeah, let's try to be at least at a flap 5 setting at Virok, and then on this stretch over here put the gear down and the rest of the flaps, and then things should hopefully work out fine. And looks like the aircraft wants to slow down even further. 170 is hard dialed, so we will go flap 5. And that should make about it. Not quite. See, the aircraft is going 172 with flat 5 only, and I mean, that's fine. 2 knots above the target speed, that's totally within the range. Ah, right, okay, and now visibility is decreasing as expected. Right. But yeah, we can see the coastline down there, so it's not all too bad after all. And just seeing that we still have these speed brakes out there. Let's arm those. Okay, and then speed at the next waypoint will be 159, so we'll definitely need to keep the flaps coming at this point. And go around altitude is 3000, and we can set this as soon as we are more than 300 feet below that, so we can set it when we are at 2700. And nevertheless, I will dial it down to 16 for now. And yeah, I will keep the flaps coming now. Flap 10. Okay, I think it's looking good so far. Just monitoring that we are staying on the descent profile, but it's looking good for now. And okay, I think we want to be early here. Let's drop the gear and keep the flaps coming. And now the speed is also dropping back. $151, okay, track required. No, it's gone, okay. Right, looking good. So now, theoretically, we should be able to dial it to 3000. And it should stay in the nav path like this, okay. Yeah, I think this sometimes happens in the PMDG. Okay, and flaps full. And so speed, 145 is the final approach speed. Actually, we can update this to 144. Okay, looking good, guys. I think we can work with that. Okay, and landing checklist. Engine start switches are continuous, speed brakes are armed, landing gear is down, and flaps are 40. Green lights, landing checklist completed. And yeah, this is Karachi. Okay, turning on the final approach. And now we are 5 miles out, still can't see the runway, so maybe visibility is even a bit worse than that, but decision height is 620, so we have a bit of margin. That's fine, but runway should come into sight any second. I think there's the lights down there. And as soon as I have a good visual on the runway, I can take the aircraft.
1000.
Okay, we see the lights now. Okay, I'm gonna take the auto throttle. And sorry about this. Oh, what's happening? Okay, sorry about this. Also taking the autopilot now. Yeah, sorry, that was due to the fact I'm using the Airbus throttle quadrant, and as you can imagine, it's not really meant to be used for this aircraft.
Approaching minimums.
Continue. It's a bit unstable now. We are too slow, but I think we can recover. Yeah, it's looking okay. 2 reds, 2 whites, perfect. And touchdown. Reverse. Oh, that wasn't too bad actually. That was quite a greaser. Alright, 50 knots, idle forward. And manual braking. Cool. Welcome to JINNAH International Airport, guys. That wasn't too bad. I mean, the RNAV approach in itself was super well, was quite good, and then the final approach, yeah, a little bit unstable, but this time I really want to blame it on the thrust levers. But anyway, made it down quite safely. A bit of a cleanup now. And flight time 1 hour 37. And taxi will be rather short, so I'm going to fire up the APU. This goes to off. And then we can take this right-hand exit here. Okay, traffic, weather, and flight directors. And over here, VORs, traffic and the terrain, and then transponder. Back to standby. And landing lights, taxi lights come on, and strobes go off. Okay. Now let's talk to GSX, see what they have for us. Gate, I think 22 would be quite nice. No idea. Let's just take the standard one. Okay, I think it's a right-hand turn over here. Those go back to off. I really like how they planted these palm trees here. I haven't been to this airport, but it looks quite authentic. And also quite a nice lineup of 777s here. Also something which looks like a historic livery or something like that. Okay, we will turn into the left. Yeah, GSX is waiting for us over there. Let's put the taxi lights off. I think Pakistan International Airways or Airlines is currently banned from quite a lot of countries, but once they get back in the air, This is even a potential 777 destination here. Okay, GSX over there. Oh, overshooting a bit here, still in the 777 mood. Okay, and even a docking system here. That's quite awesome considering this airport was for free on this market. Two feet. Okay, I think that's okay. We can stop it here. Parking brake and APU generators are running, so we can kill engines. Stop the block time, 1 hour and 58. And the beacons come off, seatbelt signs go off. Isolation valve to auto, APU bleed goes off, on, engine bleeds go off. Hydraulic pumps go off and fuel pumps go off. Like that. Cool, probeats. Okay, that's about it for the overhead panel, and now let's ask for a deboarding. So the jetway is working, beautiful stuff. Okay, let's get into the ground connections. Set the wheel chocks, request ground power. I think we can leave the APU on for the air conditioning. It's super warm outside, and usually these air conditioning units, these station ones, are not the best. So we will do that with the APU and also open some doors now. Like that, and shut down checklist. Fuel pumps are off, propeats are off, hydraulic panel is set, flaps are up, parking brake is set. What next? Engine start levers are cut off and weather radars off. Shutdown checklist completed. Okay guys, so welcome once again to JINNAH International, and I mean, look at this scenery. That's not too bad, is it? Considering this was for free, and also I think it's not even officially adapted to prepare version 5. Nevertheless, running super smooth and looking very nice. I really like it. Awesome stuff. Okay guys, thank you very much for joining me on this short flight over from Dubai. Not quite sure what we have in store next. Maybe it's going to be another 777, maybe something else, I don't know yet. But yeah, you will know as soon as it is uploaded, of course. And please feel free to leave a comment below in case you like it, or in case you want to give any route suggestions or something like that. And other than this, take care and see you next time. Bye bye.